Junk food. Those guilty pleasures that make life a little sweeter and a lot more fun. Every generation has its favorite snacks, and each decade leaves its own stamp on snack history. Let's take a journey through the 20th century and see the most popular junk foods from every decade, from old school classics to iconic treats that still hold a special place in our hearts today. 1900s, Cracker Jack. At the start of the 20th century, Cracker Jack was the ultimate snack that everyone wanted. Created in the late 1800s, it became a household name by the early 1900s. Imagine the crunchy mix of caramel-coated popcorn and peanuts packed into every box. But the real magic? The toy surprise that's hidden inside. Kids couldn't wait to finish their snack to see what prize was waiting for them, whether it was a tiny plastic ring or a fun puzzle. Cracker Jack became a sensation at baseball games, where the catchy tune, "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," immortalized it. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. It was a sweet escape from everyday life and quickly found its place in American culture. 1910s, Moon Pie. In the 1910s, moon pies made their debut and brought joy to everyone who bit into them. It all started in 1917 when a bakery in Chattanooga, Tennessee decided to create a treat that would satisfy coal miners who wanted something filling yet sweet. The result was moon pie, a delicious marshmallow-filled treat sandwiched between two graham cracker-like cookies and dipped in chocolate. It's easy to see why it became a favorite. It was large enough to curb anyone's hunger and tasty enough to keep them coming back for more. Over time, moon pies gained popularity beyond the mining towns, becoming a southern tradition often paired with ice-cold RC Cola. The combination became a staple, especially at carnivals and fairs, and the moon pie is still loved by snackers today. 1920s, Baby Ruth. From the caramel-coated Cracker Jack and chocolate-dipped moon pie, we move into the roaring 20s, when jazz wasn't the only thing captivating America. Baby Ruth candy bars became a national hit in 1921 with their delightful mix of peanuts, caramel, and nougat, all wrapped up in a layer of chocolate. The name caused a bit of confusion. While many thought it was inspired by the famous baseball player Babe Ruth, it was actually named after Ruth Cleveland, the daughter of former President Grover Cleveland. Regardless of its origin, Baby Ruths quickly won over the nation. The combination of crunchy nuts and chewy caramel was irresistible, especially to kids who could snag one for just a nickel. Despite being a time of prosperity, people still loved a good bargain, and Baby Ruth bars were a sweet treat that brought joy to many. 1930s, Snickers. As the Jazz Age gave way to the Great Depression, Americans faced some tough times, but that didn't mean their love for candy waned. Introduced in 1930, Snickers bars offered a hearty and satisfying blend of nougat, caramel, and peanuts covered in chocolate. Named after the Mars family's favorite horse, Snickers became an instant favorite because it provided a substantial treat that was filling and affordable. For just 5 cents, you got a snack that could sustain you for hours, a precious comfort during a difficult era. The combination of flavors gave people a much-needed break from the struggles of the Depression, offering a little moment of sweetness in an otherwise challenging time. Snickers quickly became one of the world's best-selling candy bars and remains a classic to this day. 1940s, M&Ms. After the challenges of the Great Depression, the world faced new trials in the 1940s with World War II. Despite the uncertainty of the time, people still craved sweetness, and the solution came in the form of colorful little chocolate candies known as M&Ms. Launched in 1941, these candies provided a smart way to satisfy a sweet tooth without melting in the heat of battlefields. The candy coating kept the chocolate inside intact, making them perfect for soldiers' rations. This convenience factor quickly made them popular amongst troops, and when the war ended, M&Ms became a favorite back home. Soon, people everywhere were reaching for these chocolate buttons. They added a burst of color to everyday life and were loved by kids and adults alike. In the following years, M&Ms became a staple in movie theaters and grocery stores, where their playful slogan, "Melts in your mouth, not in your hand," was a promise that millions believed in. The candies offered a taste of happiness and stability during a time of great change. M&Ms would continue to evolve over the decades with new flavors and colors, but their original appeal remains timeless, a simple and sweet snack that brought joy to countless families. 1950s, Lay's Potato Chips. With the end of World War II and a return to prosperity in the 1950s, Families began embracing modern conveniences that made life easier and more enjoyable. One snack that quickly found its way into homes across America was Lay's potato chips. Although they were first introduced nationally in the 1940s, Lay's really took off during the booming 50s. Their thin, crispy texture and salty flavor made them irresistible at backyard barbecues, picnics, and parties. This decade was marked by the rise of the suburban lifestyle and the spread of television culture, and Lay's potato chips became the perfect companion for family movie nights and friendly gatherings. With the catchy slogan, "Bet you can't eat just one," Lay's challenged snackers to stop after just a single chip. Most couldn't, and soon these chips were synonymous with good times and relaxation. They offered convenience for busy families and a consistent flavor that everyone loved. Lay's iconic yellow bags were a familiar sight in every kitchen cupboard, and their popularity helped establish potato chips as a staple snack food in America. By the end of the decade, Lay's had secured its place as the go-to chip, setting the standard for what a great potato chip should be. 1960s Doritos. With Lay's potato chips already popular in the 1950s, the 1960s saw the rise of a new kind of chip. Frito-lay noticed people wanted something with a bit more flavor, so they launched Doritos in 1966. At first, they were just simple, salted tortilla chips, but then came the taco flavor, and later the nacho cheese flavor. Doritos quickly became a favorite with their crunchy texture and strong, tasty seasoning. In the 1960s, young people were looking for new and exciting things, and Doritos matched that spirit perfectly. Their bright orange bags and bold flavors made them the go-to snack for parties and everyday munching. Nacho cheese Doritos had a taste unlike any other chip at the time, and people just couldn't get enough of it. By the end of the 60s, Doritos were already a big hit. Their daring flavors changed how people thought about chips, making strong, exciting tastes popular. They set the stage for how snacks would look and taste in the future. 1970s Pop Rocks. With Doritos bringing bold flavors to the 1960s, the 1970s took snack foods to a whole new level. This decade was all about trying new things, and Pop Rocks were one of the coolest treats around. Created by General Foods in 1975, Pop Rocks were tiny crystals that exploded with a fun, fizzy sensation in your mouth. They made a crackling sound and tickled your tongue, giving kids a snack experience like nothing they'd ever had before. Pop Rocks were an instant hit, and everyone loved the surprise of hearing and feeling the popping sensation. It became the perfect candy to bring to school or share with friends. However, rumors and myths about them also started popping up, like the one where eating Pop Rocks with soda would make your stomach explode. Of course, none of that was true, but it only made kids want them even more. These crackling candies showed that snacks could be just as much about fun as flavor, making Pop Rocks one of the most memorable snacks of the 70s. Their playful and surprising nature captured the adventurous spirits of the decade perfectly. 1980s Cool Ranch Doritos. After the fun and fizz of Pop Rocks in the 70s, the 1980s brought another exciting twist to snack time. The decade was all about strong flavors and bold styles, and Cool Ranch Doritos fit right in. Launched in 1986, these tortilla chips had a zesty, tangy seasoning that was unlike any other chip flavor. They became an instant hit, especially with people who were already fans of the classic nacho cheese Doritos. Cool Ranch Doritos stood out because their seasoning was packed with flavor and added a whole new layer to snacking. The mix of creamy, tangy, and savory spices captured the fun vibe of the 80s perfectly. Bright and colorful TV commercials made them even more popular as people craved this new taste sensation. The unique flavor quickly became a favorite for parties and everyday snacking, cementing Doritos as a brand that wasn't afraid to push the limits of flavor. By the end of the 80s, Cool Ranch Doritos had changed the game for flavored chips, proving that people loved unique and unexpected tastes. They were more than just a snack. They became a symbol of the adventurous and fun spirit that defined the decade. 1990s Gushers. After the bold flavors of Cool Ranch Doritos in the 80s, the 1990s brought another kind of fun to snack time. In 1991, Gushers burst onto the scene, quite literally. These fruit snacks looked like colorful little gems on the outside, but the real magic happened when you bit into one and got a burst of fruity juice from the gooey center. The unique experience made them an instant hit with kids. Gushers had bright, fruity flavors that made them popular in lunchboxes across the country. The excitement of the first Gush kept kids coming back for more, making them a staple for school lunches and after-school treats. The eye-catching TV ads, with kids turning into giant fruit shapes after eating Gushers, captured the quirky, playful spirit of the 90s. Gushers were more than just fruit snacks. They were a whole experience. They became a symbol of the bright, colorful, and fun vibe that defined the 90s. Whether kids were sharing them with friends or hoarding them for themselves, Gushers added a splash of excitement to the snacking world that's fondly remembered today. From Cracker Jacks to Gushers, each decade of the 20th century brought a unique flavor to the world of junk food. Whether it's the familiar crunch of Doritos or the surprise fizz of Pop Rocks, these snacks hold special memories and continue to influence our snacking habits today. While our tastes may evolve, one thing remains clear: our love for a good snack never goes out of style. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and recalled some good memories watching it, then do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel on your way out. See you next time, and until then, bye.